Dear students, welcome. Today we will discuss a very important topic, Cauchy's criteria to find the limit of a function. The limit of a function exists finitely. Limit of function f(x) as x approach to 0, x approach to a exists finitely if for given epsilon positive. However small, there exists a positive real number delta such that f(x1) minus f(x2), this difference becomes very small, less than epsilon, as x1 and x2 lies between the delta neighborhood of point A. Suppose that limit of function f(x) is equal to L as x approach to A. This limit exists finitely. Therefore, for a given epsilon positive, however small, there exists a positive real number delta such that f(x1) minus L is less than epsilon by 2, say for delta neighborhood of A, when x1 lies in the delta neighborhood of A. Similarly, f(x2) minus L is also less than epsilon 2 for delta for the x2 belongs to the delta neighborhood of point A. Now, f(x1) minus f(x2) is equal to f(x) minus x1 minus L plus L minus f(x2). We add and subtract L in this expression, then f(x1) minus f(x2) becomes modulus of f(x1) minus L plus L minus f(x2). This will be equal to modulus of f(x1) minus L minus f(x2) minus L modulus. By using the property of modulus, this will be less than equal to f(x1) minus L plus f(x2) minus L. These both modulus are less than equal to epsilon by 2. Epsilon by 2 is equal to epsilon. f(x1) minus f(x2) is less than epsilon whenever x1 and x2 lies in the delta neighborhood of point A. This is the Cauchy's criteria to find the limit of a function f(x) at x equal to A. By using the definition of limit, we have to show that limit of 4x minus 5 as x equals to 2 is equal to 5. Here f(x) is equal to 4x minus 5 and L is equal to 3. Limit of function is equal to 3. Now, f(x) minus L, that is 4x minus 5 minus 3, which will be equal to 4x minus 8, taking 4 common, it will be equal to 4 into modulus of x minus 2. Let x be a very small positive number be given, then f(x) minus L is less than epsilon whenever 4 into x minus 2 is less than epsilon, because f(x) minus L is equal to 4x minus 2. Suppose if we take delta equal to epsilon by 4, this becomes x minus 2 is less than epsilon by 4. Take this epsilon by 4 equal to delta, then x minus 2 becomes less than delta whenever f(x) minus L is less than epsilon. Here relation between epsilon and delta is equal to epsilon is equal to 4 delta, that is delta is equal to epsilon by 4. Therefore, for given epsilon positive, however small, we can find a positive number delta which depends upon the value of epsilon, that is delta is equal to epsilon by 4. Then f(x) minus L is less than epsilon for x belongs to the x lies in the delta neighborhood of point 2, that is as x approaches to 2, limit of f(x) is equal to L, that is limit of 4x minus 5 as x approaches to 2 is equal to 3. Now, see this question. By using definition of limit, we have to prove that a limit as x approaches to 3 of x square minus 9 upon x minus 3 is equal to 6. We have to prove that this limit is equal to 6. Here f(x) is equal to x square minus 9 upon x minus 3 and L is equal to limit of the function is equal to 6. Now, fx minus L modulus is equal to modulus of x square minus 9 upon x minus 3 minus 6. If we factorize this term x square minus 9, x square minus 9 will be equal to x square x minus 3 x plus 3. X plus x minus 3, this factor cancels out with x minus 3, then we are left with x plus 4, x plus 3 minus 6, which comes out to be x minus 3. Let epsilon is positive however small be given, then fx minus L is less than epsilon whenever x minus less than is delta. If we take delta is equal to epsilon, then fx minus L is less than epsilon whenever x lies between the in the delta neighborhood of 3. That is limit of fx approach to L as x approach to 3. That is the limit of x square minus 9 upon x minus 3 is equal to 6 whenever x approach to 2. Now suppose that we have function fx is equal to 1 minus x upon 1 plus x, where x lies between 0 and 1. We have to find a real number delta positive such that fx minus 1 by 3 is less than 1 by 10 for x minus half modulus is less than delta. Here fx is equal to 1 minus x upon 1 plus x and x lies between 0 and 1. Then fx minus 1 by 3 modulus will be equal to, by putting the value of fx, we have a modulus of 1 minus x upon 1 plus x minus 1 by 3. By solving, that is taking LCM, we have 3 minus 3x minus 1 minus x upon 3 into 1 plus x. Modulus is equal to, this comes out to be minus 4x plus 2 upon 3 into 1 minus x modulus. We can write it as taking 4 upon 3 1 minus x common, we are left with x minus half. We are left with x minus half. Because x is lies between 0 and 1, therefore 1 plus x is positive, hence 1 plus x is equal to 1 plus x. Modulus of 1 plus x is equal to 1 plus, because 1 plus x is positive. Also, if we take common from this step, minus 4 upon 3 into 1 minus x 1 plus x, then we are left within the bracket minus x minus 2 by 4, which comes out to be 1 by 2. Also minus x plus half is equal to modulus of 1 minus half. We have to find delta such that this fx minus 1 by 3 modulus is less than 1 by 10 whenever x minus 1 by 2 is less than delta. Now fx minus 1 by 3 modulus is equal to 4 upon 3 into 1 by x into modulus of x minus half. This becomes less than 1 by 10 for x minus half less than delta. By solving this step, if we take transpose this term to the right side, x minus 1 by 2 becomes less than 3 by 4 40 into 1 by x whenever x minus half lies between 0 and delta. If we take delta is equal to 3 by 40, we have x minus 1 by 2, this becomes less than 3 by 40, that is equal to delta. Also 1 plus x is greater than 1, this means x minus half is also less than 3 upon 40 into 1 plus x, because 1 plus x lies between 1 and 2, because x lies between 0 and 1. Therefore, this fx minus 1 by 3, which is equal to 3 upon 4 into 1 by 1 plus x into modulus of x minus half, this becomes less than 1 by 10 whenever x minus half is less than 3 by 40. That implies fx minus 1 by 3 is less than 1 by 10 whenever x minus half is less than delta, where delta is equal to 3 by 40. Now see this example. Let fx is equal to modulus of x upon x for all except 0. Then prove that limit of function fx as x approaches to 0 does not exist. And let fx is equal to 1 if x is rational and minus 1 if x is irrational. Prove that by using the definition that limit of fx as x approaches to c does not exist. Now we take first part. Let epsilon be a positive number, however small. Then we choose a delta. Suppose that epsilon lies between 0 and 1, then delta be a positive real number. As x approaches to 0, delta for the point 0, x1 lies in the delta neighborhood of 0, that is x minus 0 modulus is less than delta. Also for any another point x2, x2 minus 0 is also less than delta. Now fx1 minus fx2 by using Cauchy's criteria, modulus will be equal to modulus of x1 modulus upon x1 minus x2 modulus upon x2 whole modulus is equal to, by using the properties of modulus, x1 upon x minus half, because x we have taken x2 negative and x1 is positive. This means x2 modulus will be equal to minus x2. This becomes equal to x1 upon x1 minus x1 x2 upon x2. This cancels out, giving 1, and this is equal to minus 1. 1 minus plus 1 is equal to 2. This fx1 minus fx2 is 2, which is greater than 1. Suppose we have already taken epsilon as less than equal to 1. This means fx1 minus fx2 is equal to 2, which is greater than epsilon. This means this is greater than epsilon whenever x1 minus 0 is less than delta, x2 minus less than delta. Therefore, by using the epsilon delta definition, this fx1 fx2 is not minus fx1 minus fx2 is not less than epsilon whenever x1 minus 0 is less than delta, x2 minus 0 less than delta. This means limit of fx as x approaches to 0 does not exist, because this must be less than epsilon. Here fx1 minus fx2 comes out to be greater than epsilon, so this limit does not exist. See the second part. Suppose epsilon is positive, however small. If we choose epsilon between 0 and 1 and delta a positive real number, then if we take x1 minus c is less than delta, x2 minus c is less than delta, then for every two numbers where x1 is rational and x2 is irrational, fx1 fx minus fx2 will be equal to 1, because for real rational x, fx is equal to 1, and for irrational x, fx is equal to minus 1, because x is rational. Therefore fx1 is equal to 1, and fx2, because x2 is irrational, therefore fx2 is equal to minus 1. 1 minus 1 is equal to 2, which is again greater than epsilon, because we have taken epsilon between 0 and 1. This means Cauchy criteria is not satisfied, therefore limit of fx does not exist. Now next, see this example. We have to prove that limit of a function 1 upon x minus a as x approaches to a does not exist. Here fx is equal to 1 upon x minus a, and let epsilon be a given positive however small number. We choose epsilon between 0 and 1 and delta a positive real number, such that delta is greater than 1 by n, that is n is greater than 1 by delta. this means 1 by 2n is less than 1 by n is less than delta, because n 1 by n is less than delta. Now if we take x1 is equal to a upon 1 plus n, x2 is equal to a plus 2n, with two real numbers between in the domain of the function, and such that x these two numbers lies in the delta neighborhood of point A. Now fx1 is equal to n and fx2 is equal to 2n. If we put in this function, fx1 will be equal to a 1 upon x, the value put karo, a plus 1 by n minus a, which comes out to be n, and similarly fx2 is equal to 1 upon a plus 1 by 2n minus a, which comes out to be 2n. Therefore fx1 is equal to n and fx2 is equal to 2n. Now fx1 minus fx2 modulus is equal to n minus 2n modulus is equal to minus n modulus, which comes out to be n, which is greater than 1 and also greater than epsilon, because we have taken epsilon between 0 and 1, where x1 and x2 are two real numbers which lies in the delta neighborhood of point A. Therefore, because this difference is greater than epsilon, Cauchy's criteria is not satisfied. Therefore, limit of function fx as x opposed to a does not exist. Now show that this limit of sine 1 by x as x opposed to 0 does not exist. We have taken here fx is equal to sine of 1x 1 by x, and if we take epsilon between 0 and 1, a positive real number, and delta is another positive real number, such that in the delta neighborhood of x, if we take two numbers x1 and x2, suppose we have if we take x1 is equal to 1 upon 2n pi and x2 is equal to 1 upon 2n pi plus pi by 2, fx1, if we put this point in the function fx1, will be equal to sine 1 upon x1 is equal to 1 upon 2n pi, which comes out to be sine 2n pi, and sine 2n pi is equal to 0. Similarly, fx2 is equal to sine 2n pi plus pi by 2, which is equal to sine pi by 2 is equal to 1. This means fx1 minus fx2 is equal to 0 minus 1 modulus, which comes out to be 1, which is again greater than epsilon, because we have taken epsilon less than 1. Therefore, Cauchy criteria is not satisfied again. Therefore, for any two numbers, real numbers x1 x2, which lies in the delta neighborhood of point x, point 0, fx limit as x opposed to 0 is equal to limit of sine 1 by x as x equals to 0 does not exist. Again, by using the definition of limit, we have to show that limit of x minus c sine 1 by x minus c as x equals to c is equal to 0, and limit of x minus c cos 1 by x minus c as x equals to c is equal to 0. fx, here fx is equal to x minus c sine 1 by x minus c, and epsilon be a positive, however small positive number be given, such that fx minus, because limit of function is equal to 0, then fx minus l, that is fx minus 0 is equal to fx minus 0, which comes out to be x modulus of x minus c sine of 1 minus x. Because maximum value of sine 1 by x minus c will be equal to 1, therefore this is less than equal to modulus of x minus c, and suppose this is less than epsilon whenever x minus c is less than epsilon, that is, if we take epsilon delta is equal to epsilon, this condition is satisfied. Fx minus 0 is less than epsilon whenever x minus c is less than delta, for delta is equal to epsilon. From the definition of limit, we see that limit of fx as x approach to c comes out to be 0. That is, if we put the value of fx, limit of x minus c sine of 1 by x minus c as x equals to c is equal to 0. Similarly, we can prove that the second part of this question and see. Now see this topic, algebra of limits. We can find the limit of function if it exists by definition, but it is sometimes very difficult to find the value of delta. So we can try some other methods to determine the limits of a function. In such cases, we need some results. First one is, see that if f is any real valued function such that limit of fx as x equals to a is equal to L, then limit of k into k times fx as x equals to a will be equal to kl. That is, limit becomes k times. And if we take limit of function fx modulus as x equals to a, that this comes out to be modulus of L. Here limit of function fx is equal to L when x equals to a. This means there is a positive real number epsilon. However small, we can find a positive real number delta such that fx minus L is less than epsilon whenever x lies in the delta neighborhood of point a. Now k into fx minus kl, k comes outside by using the property of modulus, because this is less than epsilon. K minus fx minus kl modulus becomes less than k times epsilon whenever x minus a is less than delta. Suppose this is equal to epsilon dash, where epsilon dash is equal to k into modulus of k into epsilon, which is positive. Again, this means this is less than epsilon dash whenever x minus a is less than delta. Therefore, limit of k into fx as x equals to a is equal to kl. This limit exists. Now second part, modulus of function fx minus modulus of L is less than, by using the properties of modulus fx minus L, which is again less than epsilon for x minus a less than delta. This means limit of modulus of fx as x equals to a is equal to modulus of L. Now see these results. In these results we have we proved some elementary results. Limit of k constant as x equals to a is equal to a constant k. Similarly, when limit of x as x equals to a is equal to a, this means the limit of x raised to power n as x equals to a comes out to be a raised to power n for Rn natural numbers. Now limit of fx as x equals to a is equal to fa, and if fx is a real polynomial in x, and again limit of quotient fx upon gx as x equals to a is equal to fa upon ga, where fx and g are real polynomials and ga is not equal to 0. Then that is function g at any at point a is not equal to 0. Suppose fx is a constant k and limit of L is also equal to k, then fx minus L is equal to k minus k, which is equal to 0, and suppose this is less than epsilon for all real numbers. That is, fx minus L is less than epsilon whenever x minus a is less than delta. This means limit of fx as x equals to a is equal to L, that is limit of k as x equals to a is equal to k. In second part, suppose fx is equal to x and limit of function is a, then fx minus L is equal to x minus a by putting the value of fx and L, x minus a which is less than epsilon whenever x minus a is less than delta, where delta is equal to epsilon. Therefore, limit of fx as x equals to a is equal to L, that is the limit of x as x equals to a is equal to a. Again, if we take a limit of x raised to power n as x equals to a, x raised to power n can be written as x into x n factors. Again, taking the limits of all the individual factors separately, we have limit of x as x equals to a comes out to be a n times. Therefore, limit of x raised to power n as x equals to a is equal to a raised to power n. So students, these are some examples in which we have proved by using the Cauchy criteria and epsilon delta approach to find the limits of some functions. So thank you students.